What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to talk about the brand new 4K of the Deadly Spawn from Synapse Films. This just dropped yesterday. I was lucky enough to get an early copy of this to showcase to you guys, to tell you exactly what you're getting, if I think it's worth it, because this movie is one of those movies from the 80s that's just kind of a lost gem. It came out in 1983. It's basically about, it's a creature feature. It's an alien movie. It's basically about a meteor that crash lands on Earth. We've seen this story many times before, but this creature finds himself inside the basement of a house and terrorizes this family and this town, and only a couple kids and this boy can help save the day. This is a real cool movie, guys. This is right up my alley. But when it comes to physical media, this wasn't so easy to obtain. So let's sit back and talk a little bit about the physical media history of a Deadly Spawn. Now, again, when it comes to disc, okay, this had a DVD that came out from Synapse a long time ago. This is a real cool cover. I love this cover art here. So this was the only way to get this for a very long time. But then in 2012, MVD and I think Elite Entertainment kind of teamed up to release the Blu-ray, which I do not own. It's called the Millennium Edition. Now, this Blu-ray got terrible reviews when it came out. That is why I never picked it up. The reviews were god-awful, said that all the grain was scrubbed completely. There was a lot of DNR filtering, stuff like that, that really just took people out of the beauty of this film. It was 16mm film, but I guess that edition was just horrendous. I personally say I've never seen it. I've seen images and screenshots and stuff like that, and it did look like there was a ton of filtering on people's faces and on the creature and stuff like that. Now, how it looked on disc, I heard terrible, but I haven't seen it to kind of give you guys a different review. But that did get a lot of praise because it added some new features that we didn't have before. But that went quickly out of print to never be repressed again. Now, that Blu-ray has been on Amazon and eBay for a long time, since it came out, since it went out of print. And it was going for upwards of $100+ for years. Because, again, this movie does have a fan base, and you couldn't get your hands on it for a long time after that Blu-ray was released. Well, finally, we are in 2025, and we finally got it again. Synapse got the rights back and released this brand new Blu-ray and 4K chunky box of the Deadly Spawn. Now check this out. It's got that thick box. Synapse is doing a lot more of these now. I think it's a good idea, especially because Synapse doesn't come out with a lot of titles throughout the year. So when they do, it's cool that they're giving them this more deluxe treatment. We saw it, how well Trick or Treat did with them and Red Shirt Pictures. They recently did Blue Sunshine as well, which in my opinion was a really good release. I talked about that in another video. And they did do another one, I think, for an Argento movie. I don't know which one they had. It might have been Phenomena, like a year ago or so. But yeah, this is kind of the style they're going with a lot of their bigger releases. They're very limited. But there's a hefty price involved with this. Now, this edition right now dropped yesterday. Now, that's why I wanted to get this video out, because I had just got this and I wanted to make sure to scrub through this thing, watch it, check out the features, so I can give you my honest opinion about this release, and should you consider picking this up if you're on the fence. So let's take a look. Obviously, you got on the spine a Deadly Spawn, looks really nice. You got that chunky box, you got this front image, and then you got the back with all the cool features and stuff. This little J-card thing comes off. Now, I talked about this in the Blue Sunshine release. I like what they're doing here, but to be honest, personally, this is a personal preference. I would love the title on the front. They did the same thing with Blue Sunshine. They didn't give us the title on the front of the box, just the artwork, which again, a lot of people appreciate just the art. You can even kind of flip this in almost like a dual cover, kind of. So that's kind of cool. So this is the back, but you know, because there's no title, you can kind of utilize it from both directions, which I guess is a pretty cool idea. But I kind of would like the title on here. That's just personal for me. But inside this box, now this is a hard box. Inside this box, you do get another slip cover, a nice slip cover. This isn't just a paper slip, and you've got some crazy imagery on here. I don't want to get in trouble for that, so let's get out of there. But yeah, you do get some crazy imagery on that. It really showcases the practical effects of this movie. Now, I love the original poster art. I really do. So anything like this is the kind of the insert here. I love this here. I really, really do. So this is the image. Got it on the spine. And then the back there with all the features. Now, this is 2 discs. You do get a Blu-ray and a 4K in here. It does come with art cards here from the movie, some stills. You do get a Synapse Films catalog of some of the releases that they've got. Let me even check and see if there's anything in here that might be new. Let me see. So, no, I don't see anything new in here, which was interesting. I was curious to see if maybe they threw something in here that was coming that maybe we didn't know about. But it just goes through their kind of collection on what they offer. But yeah, that catalog comes in. This also has alternate poster art as well. So you do get this one. Now it says, The Return of Aliens Deadly Spawn. Now, why does it say that? Well, they tried to capitalize on the movie Alien. So this came out in '83, and they tried to capitalize on the Alien hype. So they did that, I think in other countries or something, try to really capitalize on the movie Alien. So that's what I think was called maybe overseas. But here it was Deadly Spawn. But again, this edition also comes with a book, you know, like a lot of these editions do. So you get this book. It's not a hardcover book, but it's got a lot of good material in here. It almost kind of looks like, you know, things that you would have seen like out of a magazine or a newspaper or something like that. So very, very cool. And you do get a poster in here as well. So let me check this out. I haven't even opened this poster yet. So let's take a look. So there you've got the original poster art of the Deadly Spawn. And then you've got this wild, almost like Japanese art. Look at that. Now, this movie, what I love about it is that the practical effects work in here is really, really top-notch. I just love the bonkersness of these 80s movies where they use these practical creature effects. I just love it. It's one of my favorite kind of 80s horror movies, and I do love alien movies. You know, this can kind of fall in categories where, like, you know, The Blob or anything where a meteor kind of crashes into Earth. It's a very violent, it's a very gory and bonkers movie. Now, I think this edition is great. I'm so happy to have this edition. I'm happy to have a Deadly Spawn back into my collection. Biggest problem that people are having is the price point. This edition right here is going for about $65 online. And I will agree, in my opinion, that's a little pricey. Now, I know Trick or Treat, that Red Shirt Pictures and Synapse did together, was $66. There was 3 different cover options. It was limited to 666 a piece or something like that. And those things flew off the shelf. Now, are they trying to capitalize on that success with some of these editions? Perhaps. Now, my biggest thing is that Trick or Treat was a very different animal as a Deadly Spawn. The Deadly Spawn is a great flick for people who know it. I don't think it's one of those movies that enough people talk about. I don't think it's one of those movies that enough people give praise to on a regular basis. So to pump this up to about $65, I just don't know if you're going to get enough people that are going to be interested in that for that price. Now, I will come out to say I think the movie's great. It's right up my alley, and I'm happy to have this edition. But I can understand where other people might think, I don't know anything about this movie. I don't really hear people talk about this movie. Is this something I want to add to my collection? Again, when I look at this movie, it reminds me of something I would have seen from like Frank Henenlotter, which I'm a huge, huge fan of. But I do recommend that you guys do pick up this movie. Now, knowing Synapse, they usually will do a standard edition, which I'm sure will just be maybe something like this. Like, you might not even get a slipcover. Maybe you get a different slipcover. I don't think you're going to get this slipcover because it doesn't have the title on the front. This might be the one you're going to get, maybe an alternate slip or something similar to what we saw with Trick or Treat. Now, you just have to be patient and wait. Now, I do think that you guys should definitely add Deadly Spawn to your collection if you've never seen it, you don't have it. But as far as what edition you want to get, are you a super collector? Do you absolutely love this movie? And you want to have these limited, like, more elite editions, then you're definitely going to want to spend the money on getting this. Now, I'm not going to point fingers at, oh my God, I can't believe Synapse is $65. This is where it's going, guys. It really is. Physical media, when it comes to these boutique labels and it comes to these like ultimate editions, is going there. We just saw TerraVision just dropped Student Bodies, which in my opinion, The Deadly Spawn is a better movie than Student Bodies to me. I like Student Bodies, but I mean, again, that was a higher price point as well. Granted, you did get a little bit more when it comes to the goodies and the extras. I think you get a t-shirt and stuff like that. So you did get a little bit more from that. But I'm just saying, this unfortunately is where a lot of these more pristine type editions are going. So if you're a collector that enjoys that stuff, this is definitely one to jump on, because 5,000 is not that many, to be quite honest. And again, I don't know if they'll sell out. That's the thing. I just think this is one of those titles that just doesn't ever get talked about enough. So I'm not really sure exactly the fandom or the fan base for this to sell out. But the people who do know the movie, I feel like the movie a lot. So that's where it's kind of weirder at a crossroads. But as far as how the movie looks, I watched this thing last night, and this is the best it's ever looked. Now, I don't have the Blu-ray to compare to, but the Blu-ray got really negative reviews. This looks crystal clear, but there are a lot of spots where you do see a lot of that grain as well. The outside scenes, like I say, on a lot of these 4Ks look beautiful. They really do. This one, it looks great. Best it's ever looked. I only have this DVD to compare it to, but this is leaps and bounds better looking than the DVD. This really is a great transfer. Now, you also get a lot of special features on this as well. Now, this is another thing that really put over that Millennium Edition that MVD and Elite did, is that they gave us some new features. So everything from this is kind of ported over, and then the same thing with that Millennium Edition. So you do get all those features, but you also get some new features. And I'll read you exactly what you're getting on this edition. And it says, limited edition set of 5,000 copies, region-free 2-disc set featuring the film and extras both on 2160p UHD 4K and a 1080p Blu-ray. Rigid slipcase with new artwork from Wes Benscotter. 56-page perfect bound book with vintage articles from Fangoria magazines, a new essay from Michael Gringold, excerpts from the producer Ted Boas, book on the making of film and scrapbook and rare photos. 6 double-sided collector cards, double-sided fold-out poster. Now the features: a brand new 4K restoration from the original uncut 16mm camera negative by Synapse Films, presented in 2 aspect ratios, 1.371 and 1.661. 4K 2160 disc is presented in Dolby Vision, HDR10. For the first time ever, the audio options feature the original producer's mix as well as the 21st Century Film Corporation theatrical mix in lossless DTS HD master audio. 3 audio commentaries featuring the producer, director, cast, and crew. Face-off interview with Elizabeth Marner Brooks, which I did watch that interview, and it's kind of wild because she's talking about her prosthetic head from this movie, and she said that she heard that someone from Kiss, possibly Gene Simmons, owns that head, and she wished she had it in her possession. But I thought that was kind of a wild tidbit. Now, is it true? I don't know, but I thought that was a pretty wild tidbit as well. You also have Return to Spawning Ground, a new featurette featuring the modern-day tour of the house, a visit with John Dodds and the Deadly Spawn vintage featurette, the Deadly Spawn comic prequel sampler, various TV news clippings from promotional and interviews of the film, Take One vintage public access show segment featuring an interview with the editor Mark Harwood, original audition tapes, behind-the-scenes footage, alternate opening credit sequence, still gallery, TV spots, and theatrical trailer. Now, you do get a lot of special features here on this edition. So again, you are getting a lot. You're getting all the brand new transfer, you're getting all the new audio, you're getting all the features. So it is stacked. Now, again, do you wait for possibly a standard edition, which has not been announced yet, or do you jump on this thing? It's really up to you. But I'm here to tell you the Deadly Spawn 4K UHD from Synapse Films is the best it's ever looked. It's the best it's ever sounded, and it does have a boatload of features, and they did a real good job giving this movie some new love with this cool addition here, with this new box set, with this cool artwork, and man, in this nice chunky box. So I hope that this movie does get a little bit more love, because in my opinion, it's so well deserved, and I do love it a lot. If you don't know anything about Deadly Spawn, like I said, it's an alien movie, crash landing on Earth, and this creature, is attacking the town and this family. And it actually kind of has a kind of sequel. This wasn't Deadly Spawn 2, but it was supposed to be. And that is a movie called Metamorphosis Alien Factor. If you've ever seen this movie, another movie that's got amazing practical effects. I did talk about this movie in an Alien video I did a couple months ago. But guys, this is the brand new 4K from Synapse Films of the Deadly Spawn. It is out now. It's limited to about 5,000 copies. So if you want it, go snag it now. And gang, this is Garrett at Born2beRad, and like always, stay